Does it have more than 120 Hz? No. Does it have high brightness? No. Does it have a low response time? No. So why is it advertised for gaming and cost 160 euros? This is Bastard talking to you, and today I'll test this LG 27MP59G gaming monitor and its claimed 1 millisecond motion blur reduction response time, when in reality it is 5 milliseconds. My friend bought it a few months ago brand new when there was a slight monitor shortage for 160 euros, and I have some strong opinions about this thing. The packaging was very straightforward, nothing too interesting here, but you're still getting the reenactment of the unboxing.
Compactus.
Now for these specs. It is a 27-inch monitor with an IPS panel, and as for the response time, it is weird. Actual response time is 5 milliseconds, but the claimed motion blur reduction technology makes it 1 millisecond. Does it work?
I guess we'll never know.
It has a resolution of 1920 by 1080, a refresh rate of just 75 Hz, and a brightness of just 250 nits. And when you consider the price, it makes you question what's so special about this thing to be priced that much. Design-wise, this monitor looks pretty decent with its cool, sporty-looking red bits on the stand. The back, although, really reminds me of an AOC monitor design. The bezels in the front are quite big, but those black bars on the screen are just hilarious. It really makes me feel like it's some sort of a scam. I have never ever seen them that big, that's what she said. So automatically, multiple monitors set up with those two LG thick boys wouldn't look clean. Anyways, here's a well-aged banana for a scale. Moving on. The stand, and it is lacking adjustability. The only way to adjust it is to tilt it, and it doesn't feel too strong. Even a slight wind can shake it a bit. In conclusion, it wouldn't survive an earthquake. Oh, and it also has a ring for the cables to go through. That's nice. As for the ports, it has a VGA, HDMI and DisplayPort outputs. And of course, LG didn't forget to put in a headphone jack. Most probably because they cannot do it on their smartphones anymore. Rip in peace. At least the UI is probably one of the best I've ever tested. It is intuitive and easy to use. It is controlled by the glorious nipple, which disappointingly feels like cheap and loose plastic. By the way, 6 different color adjustments in the UI is a very nice bonus. I'm trying to find good things here. It almost makes you perform a wheelie.
Really?
It also has plenty of other settings for gaming and so on. Now for the most important part of the monitor, the screen. And colors on this monitor are actually really nice. Factory settings were set up really well, so there was no adjusting needed to be done to the monitor settings, just plug and play. But perfect things end here, because brightness was enough but really not great, especially in summer. So you better game all night and sleep all day, not vice versa. Viewing angles also were okay. Nothing too extraordinary or bad, but they could be a little better. Now, ghosting is usually a make it or break it category on a monitor, and after a couple of tests, it turns out as the weakest point of this monitor, just like these ships. Moving objects look exactly like my future, and this was one of the worst cases of ghosting on monitor I have ever tested. But when I turned on the motion blur reduction, someone clearly called Ghostbusters. Ghosting jumped from one of the worst to one of the best cases I've ever seen. Although I also noticed that the screen started flickering and it was really uncomfortable to my eyes. It will be really interesting to see how it plays out in gaming. And speaking of gaming, playing AAA games on this monitor was a good overall experience. Ghosting doesn't play a big role in this scenario, and the 27-inch screen accompanied with great colors was a good combo for that. Now, esports games like CSGO were interesting. After downloading the game after a long time without the motion blur reduction, everything felt slow and uncomfortable. After turning it on, it felt crisp, but my eyes were suffering from flickering. So, what did we learn from this? The pros are that it has an intuitive UI and good colors.
That's all very impressive. But
As for the cons, it has this useless 1 millisecond time feature as it makes the screen unusable due to flickering. Big bezels, above average price for the specs, no DVI port, weak stand, and strong ghosting. To conclude, you need to choose. Either you're using this monitor with motion blur reduction and you're having amazing experience, except for the fact that you cannot look at the screen without causing serious damage to your eyes, or you're using this monitor without the motion blur reduction and experiencing an ordinary cheap IPS office monitor visuals. And if I missed anything, feel free to ask me about it in the comments. Cheap bastard out.
Whoa!